Hey everyone, this is Michael with Quiet Lawn. The topic of this video is how to start a lawn care business or landscaping business in 2023. I've been getting a lot of comments on our videos from people that are wanting to get into the industry, and a lot of them are asking questions about how to get started. And I've made some videos on this topic before in the past, and I've recommended other channels which I think are great for starting out a business and much better than mine. Some of those channels I recommend are Florida Turf Pros, Mike Andes, Lawn Care Millionaire, and I'm probably leaving out some other ones, Scooter's Lawn Care. You know, some of those are great channels and great resources on how to start your business. But I wanted to make a video of my own to address that, and this is just stuff that I quickly thought about as far as what you need to do to start a business. There's probably several other details that I'm leaving out, but I think this gives you a general idea of the process. So let's say you wanted to get started this year and you wanted to start a legal business. A lot of people start doing this on the side. Nothing wrong with that. And they don't have an actual business name. They're just doing it as an individual. But this is for somebody that's either looking to transition from that to an official business, or somebody wanting to start from scratch and they just want to have it official from day one. But the first thing you need to do is figure out a name. You need to figure out what you want to name your business. When you do that, you can go to different websites. I think you can go to like the Secretary of State. You can go to trademark search engines, and you can look and see which names are already trademarked or taken in your state or in the whole country. Because the last thing you want to do is come up with a cool name, like Quiet Lawn, and you don't know that there's already another company that's trademarked the name Quiet Lawn, and you go to do that and you build a nice business, and later you get a cease and desist letter saying that you need to change your name or whatnot because you're infringing on somebody else's trademark or somebody else that already has that name. So do a little research on what name you want to name your business. Make sure it's not at least taken in your state. And like I said, most states you can do a quick search, through the state website to see if those names are taken. So once you have your name, you're going to go ahead and start the business entity that you're going to have. Most people in this business start out with an LLC. An LLC is just it's basically making your business a separate entity, and it protects you from liability issues. So it's called a limited liability corporation. So basically the way it works is if you were to have some kind of issue with your business and get sued or whatnot, it just means that the people that are suing your business cannot come after you individually. So I highly recommend, becoming at least an LLC. You might talk to an accountant, see if they recommend any other entities such as S or C corporations, but for most of us, LLC is the best way to go, at least starting out. There's a lot of online businesses that sell you, that will set your LLC up for you, and they're very expensive. They can be several hundred or even $1,000. You can actually go to the Secretary of State's website for most states and do it for like $50. You just have to pay the licensing fee. I did this for some of our other businesses, and it took me like 15 minutes and cost like $50. So just go to the Secretary of State's website for your state and see if you can go ahead and file for an LLC in the business name through that site. Next thing you need to do, so that takes care of the state side of it. Next thing you need to do is look at local or state. Most local governments, most counties, most towns require you to get a business license. In our county, we're required to have a business license. Also, in some of the townships within our county, we're also required to have an additional business license just for that township. So you need to check with local, your local municipality and the local county. You just call them up, the business license department, and say, hey, what do I need to get started? Most of them are really helpful, and most of them, offer, where you pay a very low fee, or maybe even you get it for free if you're just starting out or you have less than a certain amount of revenue. So they're not super expensive. They can be in the $300, $400, $500 range, but generally it's based on your revenue, and starting out you're not really going to have any. But you need to get your business license. Next thing I would get is general liability insurance. This is the insurance that you're going to get that if you break something or you tear something up at a customer's property, or you hurt somebody, not including your employee, but if you hurt, if you shoot a rock out of your mower and it hits the neighbor's kid, this is what you have general liability insurance for. Or if you break a water line and it floods their basement and stuff like that. So general liability insurance is pretty easy to get. Just contact the person that you get your car insurance from right now, or contact any insurance broker and they can, get you a quote for that. It depends on the state, but it's typically not more than, $500-600 a year, but it depends on your state and your situation. It could be more or less. And you probably want to get, a minimum of $1 million of general liability insurance. And like I said, it's not very expensive at all. Next thing you want to do is you want to find the bank that you want to bank with, and you want to go there and go ahead and open up your bank accounts, your single bank account, because this is where all the money's going to get deposited and run through your business. You don't want to start your business out from the beginning where you're running everything through your personal account and you're having to keep everything separate. It's usually free or very cheap to open up a business checking account, so just go ahead and start that from the beginning. I also highly recommend you reading a book called Profit First and implementing that strategy from the beginning, and it'll talk about opening several accounts and how to divide up your revenue so that you're putting money back and you're able to save money and put money in different accounts from the beginning, so you're not stressing over during the winter time or other times. Next thing you want to do is you want to start establishing your online presence once you have all your legal stuff set up. And this isn't all necessarily in sequence. You can be doing a lot of this stuff at the same time, but these are just basic things that you need to do. You need to purchase your domain, yourlawncare.com, or whatever you decide. You need to go ahead and make sure that domain's available. Which, when you're coming up with your name, this is part of the stuff that you research. You make sure that there's a website available for that name. Make sure that name is not taken, stuff like that. But you want to go ahead and purchase your domain, which usually doesn't cost more than like $10 or $20 a year. And you want to go ahead and get a website. Now, it depends on your budget as far as how much you have to spend. You can get a decent website for $500 to $1,000 to start out. And you can go on freelance websites like Fiverr, which is spelled Fiverr. It's just a site where you can find freelance people that do stuff like graphic design, logo design, websites, stuff like that. And they're typically in parts of the world where, third world countries where the exchange rates really help you out, and you can get this stuff done a lot cheaper than you could, getting a company in the U.S. to do the same thing. So I highly recommend if you do have money to start out, that is where I would put my money into a good website. Spend $500,000 or maybe even more to get a good website, because if you get one of these crappy websites like on Wix or some of these pre-built like Shopify like type websites, they don't rank well on Google, and it doesn't do you any good if somebody searches for lawn care near me and your website pops up on the 8th page of Google, because nobody's going to see it. So if there's one place that I say is really important to invest your money, it's in a good website. Next thing you'll want to get is, once you got your your domain and all that stuff, you're going to want to get a logo. So I'm not a fan of people going on Microsoft Word, Art, or whatever and trying to make their own logo and it doesn't look professional. You can go to sites like Fiverr, like I mentioned, and you can get logos made for as little as like $50 by a professional graphic designer. So it might cost you $100, $200, but that's really cheap to get a logo. And your logo is going to be the brand of your business. You want it to be professional. So get you a logo, because that's what's going to be put on your website. That's what's going to be put on your uniform, on your vehicle, all that stuff. Get your website built. Go ahead and set up your social media pages. It takes like 15-20 minutes to set up your Facebook page, your Instagram page, your TikTok if you're good at stuff like that. I personally don't know how to do any of that stuff, so we don't have a TikTok. Just set up your various social media accounts so that you can start driving traffic to those pages. The other one is Google My Business. So Google My Business is where you're going to go and you're going to enter your information, and Google will send you a postcard in the mail to confirm your address. And when you do that, it will confirm your address and it will add you to Google Maps and to the map listings. So if you do like a Google search on your phone right now, you'll see it'll pop up. If you're looking for a pizza place near you or something like that, it'll pop up, and some of the first things you see are on the map. It'll show like this Domino's Pizza is 1 mile away. That is what this Google My Business will do when they send that postcard. If you don't do that and you don't confirm your address with Google, then you're not going to be showing up on the map, and most of us, that's where we find what we're looking for these days. So it's really important to be on that. There's a lot of other stuff, as you do, but just to get started, you definitely want to get that postcard in the mail so that you can confirm your address. Use your home address. The good thing about that is it goes by proximity. So if customers a couple miles away and they're looking for a lawn care close by, your website is more likely to pop up than one that might be 5 or 10 miles away. So you definitely want to do that. On the administrative side, you want to figure out what CRM you're going to use. CRM is your customer relationship management. It's the software that's going to make your life a lot easier. You don't want to be doing all this stuff on paper where you're writing out your schedule on notebook. You're having everybody pay you cash and checks when you do work. You're mailing out invoices, all that. That's from the Stone Ages. It's going to make it very hard to grow your business, and you just, from the beginning, you want to do this the right way and have a software that is going to help you do that. There are a lot of free ones to start out with, like Yardbook. Mike Andes is coming out with his called Copilot. We haven't had a chance to use it yet, so we don't know how good it's going to be. But you want to get you a CRM, and preferably one that is going to have the ability to for you to scale your business to whatever that is. If you're only looking to grow a business that where you're a solo operator and you're working by yourself and maybe bringing in $150,000, $200,000 a year in revenue, then you don't need a fancy expensive CRM like Service Autopilot or stuff like that. You'd be fine with like Yardbook or Lawn Pro, stuff like that, because that's what those are built for. If you're looking to really scale your business and eventually get up to several $100,000 or several $1 million, then you might look at something else like like Jobber or Copilot, stuff like that. But you can always start with the free ones and later transition over. It's just it can be a little bit more of a headache doing that. With your CRM, it's going to have you set up your credit card processing. This is where if you invoice your customers or you put their card on file, you can charge their card and you don't have to worry about checks, stuff like that. I highly recommend from the beginning requiring a card on file. Do not, except for like projects, like big projects like mulch or stuff like that. For all of your maintenance work like mowing, little stuff like that, require a card on file and charge their card on file, either after the service is complete, within that same week, or put them on some kind of monthly price where you're charging it on a set day every month. Everybody's used to that. Everybody in this world has debit cards. They all have debit cards or credit cards. They're used to that. Almost everything that they pay for online requires a debit card. So it's it's 2023, and that should be a requirement for all of us because it's going to make your life so much easier, and it's going to get you paid so much faster. And it's going to make sure that you're not chasing money, with your business. So learn from my lessons and most of the other people that are in this business. Start out requiring a credit card on file from day one. You need a phone number. You can use your personal number, but it costs like $10 a month to get like a Google Voice number or something like that. I would start out with a number for the business that you can use as the business grows, because you don't want to get your personal number put on the side of your truck, on your t-shirts, on all your cards and all this stuff, for the first few months, and then have to change all that later because, you've figured out how annoying it is to have a customer calling you on your personal number on a Sunday evening or something like that. So just go ahead and get you a phone number. Like I said, they're very cheap. You can get them for 10 or 20 bucks, and just start out with a separate business number. With a Google Voice, you can even put the app on your phone where it will ring your personal phone. From that business number, it'll automatically call to your phone, so you don't even need a separate phone. Email address, when you set up your website, make sure you get it set up. A lot of them include free emails, and you can also purchase what's called G Suite, which is Google's business suite. I think it's like 10 bucks a month, but it'll allow you to have it come to like a Gmail email. But you want to have an email address that's to your website. It's like info@yourlawncare.com. You don't want it to be like yourlawncare@gmail.com. You want to have an official website that sounds professional. It doesn't just sound like somebody went and made an email, a generic email. Okay, so that's all the stuff that you want to kind of have in place and you want to be thinking about. The most important part is none of this other stuff matters if you don't have customers. So marketing. You want to get some postcards. You want to probably get 5,000 of them if you can get them. We get ours from Vistaprint. I think we get the 5x7 size, but you can get whatever you find a sale on. And a lot of times you can get 5,000 for like $200 or $300, maybe even less, depending on what kind of promotion they have. They always have a coupon going on, so look for the coupon on their website before you put your order in. But we distribute these several times a year. And what you want to do is you want to identify the target neighborhoods that you want to go after that have the size lawns that you want to mow. And let's say you have 15, 20 subdivisions within 5 or 10 miles of your house. What you're going to do is you're going to take those postcards and you're going to start distributing to those neighborhoods, and you're going to hit them multiple times, because if you just put those postcards out one time, you're going to get very few calls. It takes a lot of repetition because you have to build up that branding, and people have to start associating you with that service when they see your marketing. So you might have to hit a neighborhood a half a dozen times before you start getting more calls from those postcards. So what I would do is I get 5,000, 10,000, whatever it is, and I would identify your target neighborhoods, and I would start distributing those postcards to that neighborhood every month, and then during the spring rush every week or two, because that's what's going to start getting you some calls, and you can be very targeted with that. We have some other videos, if you look back to our older videos, where my wife shows how she does our marketing, and she's our marketing manager. She shows how she distributes the postcards. Look at that video, and it's very simple to do. Facebook groups. Just starting out, you're not going to really know what you're doing as far as running ads or setting that stuff up, but you can get in a lot of these local Facebook groups, the little yard sale groups for your local community, the local community pages, and you can start posting in there like, hey, I'm starting out. If you need something, please contact me. You'll be able to get a lot of contacts for stuff like that. Ads, like I said, if you have the budget to do like Facebook ads and stuff like that, and you're able to watch how-to videos, start running that stuff. You do start to get, a lot more complicated with things like that, and it takes some more time to set up, but you can learn it, and you got to start somewhere. So, the thing you got to understand about your first postcards and your first ads is you're not going to be very good at it. You're not going to be good at making a compelling ad. You're not going to be good at targeting the right audience, and it's not going to be as successful as you get later, because you're going to have experience. You're going to know, like, hey, I ran this type of ad, last year, and I got less results than this other ad. So, like everything else, you're going to get better over time, but it is going to take some time to get there. But, start running ads if you're able to, even if you're only spending like $5 a day in Facebook ads. That's still, better than nothing, and you're getting your branding out. Uniforms and vehicle graphics. You can order uniforms very cheaply. If it's just you starting out, you don't need a lot of them. Get some on some of these sites where they allow you to order low quantities. Even if you have to pay $25, $30, $50 a shirt, get you a few shirts where you look professional, because if you're looking to get professional prices and you're looking to get the right kind of customer, then you need to look the part and you need to be professional. If you're showing up in, there's nothing wrong with your personal vehicle, but if you're showing up and you're in jeans and overalls or whatever you're wearing, and there's no branding on it, people don't see value in that. They don't view you as a professional company, and you're going to draw the type of customer that's going to want to take advantage of somebody like that that's looking for a bargain or a discount. So get you some nice uniforms, even if it's 2 or 3 shirts. Spend you a couple $100 getting you a little hat and some shirts, and that's really all you need. Be professional, tuck it in if you need to. Wear some nice pants, not ones with holes in it, and that's really all you need. Vehicle graphics. If you have to start out and get the magnetic signs to stick on the door like you can get from Vistaprint, do that. Feel free to. I recommend eventually once you have a dedicated work vehicle, or if you're okay with dedicating your personal vehicle, go ahead and get some vehicle graphics put on there. You don't need to put a $3,000 wrap on your vehicle to get attention. You can just do some simple lettering in your logo, and you can spend $300, $400, $500 and get your vehicle lettered and look very professional. I highly recommend that. That's going to be branding. That's going to bring you back a lot more money than it cost you, because people are going to see you. They're going to call you. They're going to see the website on there. So you definitely want to have some kind of graphics. Even if you're using your personal vehicle and you're pulling a trailer and you have a sign made for the trailer, that's better than nothing. At least people see your branding and it looks professional. You'll see I left equipment for last because, most of us starting out, we think this is the most important factor. And in fact, the equipment you choose and the vehicle you choose has almost no impact on whether or not you're going to be successful. So people will spend hours and hours and hours and days and weeks researching equipment, researching vehicles before they start their business, and it really doesn't matter. If they would have spent that same time researching on how to market, how to build a good website, all this other stuff, they would be much more successful, because it doesn't matter what equipment you're using. If you don't have customers, then it doesn't matter and your business is not going to be successful. So, figure out what kind of equipment, vehicle or equipment you're going to use, whether you're going to start out using your personal vehicle, whether you're going to be pulling a trailer, figure out what kind of, it doesn't even matter about brand. You could go with Ego, you could go with Crest, you could go with Greenworks. While there are probably advantages and disadvantages to each of those, it's not really going to have a big impact on if your business is successful or not. So just pick one and go with it. But like I said, the big thing with equipment is you want to have equipment that's right for the type properties that you're going to be targeting. If you're in an area where they only have big lawns that are half an acre or an acre, something like that, and you don't have like small subdivisions like we have, where you have like quarter acre, fifth acre lots or smaller, then you're probably going to have to get different equipment. You're going to have to get a bigger mower, maybe a U0 turn, or wider push mower, something like that. If you're targeting tiny lawns and you're in more like an urban area and the lawns are like a couple thousand square feet, then you might be getting a 21-inch push mower or a 30-inch push mower. So that's all I have to say as far as equipment. Just get the equipment that kind of fits what your target type of customer is. Do you want to do big lawns or do you want to do small lawns? And that's going to kind of dictate what vehicle and equipment you have. But like I said, that is very inconsequential. Do not spend a ton of time on it, especially starting out. Do not go out and buy tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment and vehicles when you have 0 customers. Start out with simple equipment, even if you just are push mowing to start out with, and put all of your money into marketing, because that is what's going to pay the bills, is getting customers in the door. People don't care that you have a shiny mower or a shiny truck. That's not going to bring you in revenue. Marketing and getting customers in the door is what's going to get you revenue. So spend the majority of your time doing that. I think, and it's all of us, when you're starting out, we don't know what we're doing. We don't know how to market. We don't know how to talk to people. We don't have all these other skills. So what we do is we find ways to keep busy, and we spend all this time researching this stuff that's not really going to help our business, to avoid having to do this stuff that we're uncomfortable with, that we don't know. Maybe we're uncomfortable putting out postcards. Maybe we don't know how to run Facebook ads. Maybe we don't know how to do this or that. So we spend our time, researching equipment. So if you will just take the time and be disciplined enough to spend your time in the right areas, you'll be way ahead, because you'll spend a lot less money up front, because you won't be buying stuff and expensive stuff until you actually have the customers, and your business will be a lot better in the long run. You'll have a lot less debt, and you'll have a big advantage over your competition that didn't learn how to market and do this other stuff. So that's kind of my video. I know I ramble a lot, but these are kind of the areas I would look at to start my business. None of this stuff takes a ton of time. You can be working on a lot of this stuff simultaneously. This, obviously, getting this website going, getting the legal stuff first, because you have to set that up, but then getting your website and your marketing going, even if you hadn't got your equipment yet, is much more important than spending all your time right now trying to figure out what equipment to buy. But if you have any other questions below, or if there's some other topics you'd like me to make a video on, just leave them in the comments. But thank you all for watching, and I hope this helps.